Pay close attention to this video. A man ends up kissing a woman who was inside a car, and this makes her very surprised. At this moment, the woman's boyfriend gets into the car and the man stops the kiss and goes to the front seat of the car. The other man then asks the woman what had happened, but she says nothing had happened. She then asks her boyfriend how his work was going, and he says that that question was really stupid and that she should stop talking about those things because he worked hard to give her money. She says he didn't need to talk like that, but he says he was irritated by it. She then says they could go out for something to eat, but the other man says he didn't want to do that. The woman was telling the man that they could go out together to get something to eat and have some fun, as the man was very stressed and he needed some rest. He says that she was right and that he really was very stressed, but that he couldn't rest because he needed to work to be able to support his wife. She says he couldn't work forever, and so the man told his driver he should go faster. Later, the woman excitedly goes to her boyfriend's room, but when she gets there, she realizes that he was sleeping. She says that she expected it and that she never got what she wanted. She says that she was always trying to be the most beautiful woman possible for her boyfriend, but that he never cared about that and that she couldn't take the situation anymore. She says that she just wanted someone who would truly value her by her side and that she didn't think that was too much to ask. She then lays down next to her husband and starts trying to sleep. At this moment, the man appears and starts kissing her. She gets very excited about it and says that she had waited for him for a long time. At that moment, she realizes that it had all been a dream and she gets scared. The other man wakes up and asks what had happened. She said it was no big deal and that she had just had a different dream. Sometime later, the other man was getting ready to go to work. At this moment, the woman appears and asks if he would work, and he, very furious, says yes. He asks her what she wanted, and then she said she wanted him to have more time to spend with her. She said that they could do something together and that she really missed being by his side. He says he was very busy at the time and he couldn't do anything about it, but they could talk about it later. He said that they could think of something for them to do together later, but that right now he was busy with his work and that he couldn't be distracted by other matters. She asks if he would really think about it and he said yes, but now he needed to go to work. He says that he couldn't talk to her at that time as he was very late for his work and that he needed to leave. She then said that he shouldn't focus so much on work as he needed to rest and that he wanted to spend time with him, but he said that she didn't need to worry about what he was going through as he knew how to take care of himself. She then told him to think a little about what she was saying to him, and then he said that he wanted her to go to his driver and tell him to prepare the car as he was going to leave. She then says that she was already finishing getting ready to leave, but the other man says that he couldn't wait any longer. He said that since she wasn't ready to leave, he would go alone. He says he couldn't wait for her any longer and that she could call a taxi or something similar for her to go to work as he was very busy and needed to leave. She asks if he really couldn't drive her to her work and he said no, because he was too late. She was then going after her boyfriend when she realized that the man was waiting for him there. She asked him what he was doing there, since her boyfriend had said that he was very late. But the man said he could take the woman if she wanted. She said she couldn't ask him to do that, but he insisted, saying he would take her. He says he could do what another man couldn't do, but the woman says she couldn't accept his help. At that moment, the man goes to the woman and kisses her, which leaves her very surprised. She asks why he did that again and he asks her to stay by his side. She said she couldn't do that, but he said he could make her very happy and that the other man didn't value her. She said she couldn't do that because she was dating his boss and that wasn't right. But he said he just wanted a chance to prove her boyfriend was unfaithful. She asks what he was talking about and the man says that her boyfriend cheated on her a lot and that he could prove it. He then asks her to get in his car and says he could prove what he was saying. He helps the woman get into her car and makes sure she can hide so the other man can't find her. At this moment, the other man appears and asks if they could leave now. The man said yes, and then the other man handed him his suitcase and said he really needed to go to the airport. Inside the car, the man asks his boss if he was okay. He says the other man looked very different, but the other man says it was no big deal. The man said his boss could tell him what was going on, and then the other man says he was tired of his wife. He asks what the other man was talking about, and he says he couldn't stand being by her side anymore. He says that his wife was no longer the same as before and that she was never beautiful to him anymore, and that this was making him very dissatisfied with the relationship he was having. He said that now he really wanted to be with someone else and that he was thinking about who it could be. But at that moment the woman appears and asks what he was talking about. He is very surprised by the woman and asks what she was doing there. He then tells everyone to get out of the car, and they do. When the woman gets out of the car, she asks what the other man was talking about. He says that unfortunately it was true and that he couldn't stand being by her side any longer. She asks if he really felt that way, and he says yes, because he couldn't stand being by her side any longer. He says that she was no longer the person he had fallen in love with and that he wanted to be with someone else. He said he was tired of being with her, and she said she was also tired of being with him. He then said that what was happening in their relationship was not something they should blame because it was neither of their faults. He said this happened in all relationships, but the woman said he was just a coward for saying she wasn't to blame. He then said that the truth was that he had someone else, which left the woman very shocked. He then started to tell her that he was very grateful because she ended up listening to what he had to say. He said if she hadn't been in that car he wouldn't have had the courage to say that to her. She then said that she was very sad about what had happened and that she also had something to say. She says the truth was that she was also with someone else, and then kisses the man. She says that now she was together with him, and the other man asks how long they had been together. She says they had been together for a long time and that she didn't owe him an explanation. As the other man didn't seem to care, she asked him if he was okay with what she had said. He said yes and that he didn't mind, and told the man that he hoped he would make the woman very happy as she was an incredible person. He says he doesn't want to talk about it anymore and then goes to the car to get his things to leave. He said he was tired of it all and that he hoped they were happy, and then he left. When he leaves, the man tells the woman that now they could be together, but she says that wouldn't happen, because despite what she had said at that time, she was still very much in love with her boyfriend. She said she was still very much in love with him, but the man says he knew that wasn't true and that she was really enjoying being by his side. He then kisses the woman and she says that, in fact, she really enjoyed being with him and that she would give them a chance.